Morning, everyone. It's Dave from Past Outdoors. I'm coming to you today. I just want to make a clear message to people out there that if you're going into the outdoors, you need communications. That's just it. Like, there's no heroes go do solo work. You know, there's no getting off grid when the shit hits the fan. You need to be able to call support, or people need to get in touch with you. And there's no excuse for it these days with the tech going out. But I just want to delve a bit deeper into the tech and how the tech is going to help you get rescued. I've written a couple of articles on this on our website on communications planning, and they're well worth the read. For those wondering, why am I telling you this? Like, you know, with my experience in the military, communications was an abort criteria. If you didn't have comms, you didn't go and do anything. And I'm talking like high-risk missions into, you know, Taliban strongholds in Afghanistan, where if you had no comms, you had no support, you will die. That's just fact. And I've been in positions where if we didn't have communications, I'd be dead. And so it's very important. And the same goes when you go in the outdoors. Like this week, we've seen another hiker die because he's gone out and no one could find him, no one knew where he was. He attempted communications, but you know, they haven't found him since. So I think it's really important. And I think it's also important it is always unprepared people that get this, but there's prepared people out there. I think we need to call people out at trailheads or in car parks when you see them stepping off overland track in their Crocs with no comms, no support, no equipment. We need to call them out. We need to call someone as well and let them know. Like, they just don't know. You don't know what you don't know until you die from it. So I just want to go over some of the tech that we've got here and that you should consider as well. The first thing I'll go that everyone's got and everyone's raving about is the iPhone. You know, when iPhones come out, you know, they're going to take over photography. They're taking over a lot more, or, you know, smartphones in general, but they're not a silver bullet. We've still got photographers who use SLRs. We've still got photographers that use film and videographers, etc. So the cameras haven't taken over that. The same approach should be taken with the satellite technology. So yes, your iPhone might have a satellite capability, but it's a small device, it's very low powered, has it got the punch to get up to the satellites when you need to for the comms? Has it got the battery life? Like, this thing dies in a day, every day at work. This thing's got a battery of 7 years. Two completely different sort of capabilities there. So you really need to consider whether you want to put all your eggs in one basket in your smartphone for communications. And you know, a guy I know, Bruce, he was actually the first person to be rescued off an iPhone. And as soon as he hit that button, that battery just vanished really, really quickly because they suck up a lot of power to get it out there. Remember, you also use your iPhone for navigating, photos. So at the end of the day, when most people realise they're in the trouble, is it going to have the battery power to get you through the night or a sustained rescue for someone to find you? I think if you're relying on that, you're using the old hope as a plan. And as I've said before, it's not a plan. So great tool, but on its own, you just cannot rely on it. And I'm saying that from, you know, my level of expertise and my appetite for risk, which is pretty high, but I can mitigate that through my experience and planning. So your iPhone, great. How an iPhone rescue is going to work, you're going to hit the button and that's going to go to the iPhone desk, which is in America or Sweden. So then they're going to start coordinating the communications back to you. And then the agencies can, so the police, AMBOs, etc., can take over that and message you. So it is a great little tool, but it shouldn't be relied on. Where it has its limitations, and this is first-hand info. I got off the phone this morning, you know, probably the most experienced rescue unit in Australia, and you know, they're doing a lot of testing with these, and they're not getting texts in and out in the sort of the canyons and down sort of the lower Blue Mountain etc., because it's just not getting up past the terrain and it hasn't got the power to punch up through the canopy, whereas a PLB does. So iPhone, consider it, but just don't have it as your plan. Okay, next I've got our inReach range over here from Garmin. The reason I chose inReach to focus on is because my experience, I had one of the first sort of Garmin GPSs back in the year 2000. It was the most flashiest thing ever. It was bright yellow and it got me a grid where I wanted to be. And I've used Garmin my whole military career and it just has never ever let us down. Garmin also use the Iridium satellite network, which is one of the most reliable satellite networks out there. The military use it, so you've always, it's not going to get shut down because, someone chucks their toys out of the pram and doesn't want their satellites getting used. It's always going to be there, and it's fantastic. Having that two-way satellite texting capability in a ruggedized device with a strong battery, so a lot different to your iPhones, etc. They can operate independently. They're ruggedized. They clip onto everything. It's a standalone thing that you're not going to drop in the water when you're taking a photo or break. They're tough as nails. That's why I use the Garmin InReaches for that two-way satellite texting. Now, a lot of people go, well, I can just use a PLB, but what we're finding with a lot of rescues is some people are like, oh, I might not need rescue, I might not, but then someone back at home is worrying about them. So this can just alleviate that worry and creating like a false flag rescue because someone's worried about you. And I've had friends that have done that. They've been out, they didn't get back, they had PLBs, very experienced mountaineers, didn't have two-way comms, they just had to ride out weather, and by the time they'd made that decision, one of their partners had actually phoned the authorities and said, go look for them. And they did. So nothing wrong with that, but maybe could have been alleviated by having a two-way device. So Garmin's ruggedized, dedicated two-way satellite messenger. Highly recommend. I never leave home without it. One thing to be aware of though, they are getting a little bit reliant on having the apps installed on your phone. So make sure you do have those apps ready to go before you step off out of comms. Personally, I've also been caught out with that where I've flown in overseas, I've put my phone on low data mode, so for the global roam, etc. And the first thing it done was offloaded a heap of apps, and it offloaded the Garmin app. So you just got to be aware of that and make sure you test your comms prior to going. And the good thing about a Garmin is you can test your comms and get a receipt back from someone before you step out. So that's why I like the inReach. Okay. Also carry a PLB. And people go, oh, are you scared, Dave? I'm not fucking scared of being in the outdoors. What I am scared about is dying for a stupid mistake for the sake of saving $400. So having a PLB, two's one, one's none in my world. So having the PLB, and what the PLB has got over all of these is, I'll just wind it back. Garmin, despite the rumours, does not go to America. It goes to a desk in AMSAR, Australian Maritime Search and Rescue. That's straight from AMSAR and straight from rescue authorities in Australia. So it's not going to some dude in America who's not going to answer the phone. It goes to AMSAR. So you're going to get a really high quality rescue out of that. And speaking to the guys that do the rescues, once they get comms with you, they can triage that rescue, they can talk to you, see what support that you need. And also, you might not be the priority rescue for them. So they might go, look, just park there for the night, light a fire, we're dealing with another emergency, we'll come to you in the morning. So saves the authorities as well. When you'll see the resources that get taken up in rescuing people and searching for people, and there's a lot of controversy over that. But every life's worth saving, but we can now triage that. So sorry about that. We'll wind back. PLBs, heaps of different PLBs around. I choose these because Ocean Signal, highly reputable. It's small, it's compact, and it's a good price point. It's amazing how much money people spend in this store. And when you ask them, are you getting a PLB? Oh, no, I'm going to save up for one. It's like, well, you can't save up for one if you're dead. So buy the PLB, just get it. It's $400 to $500, whatever they're going to be on that day, but it is just worth it. It's going to save your life. It's not worth dying for a rolled ankle and some bad weather. So PLBs, the difference with them is they're a dedicated device. You're never going to forget to charge it. It can live in your kit. You don't pull it out to do a million other things. You don't play with it. You pull this out when you need it, you activate it, and you get rescued. So unlike satellite and phone and what have you that relies on that constant satellite contact, if you're deep down in terrain where you might have got a little bit of a ping out in your PLB, rescue aircraft, etc., have the beacon on these that can hone in on this actual device and beacon at its current location, not relying on its coordinates that have been sent through satellite. And you get a lot of inaccuracies through GPS, and it can, affect that rescue, because the difference, 20 metres difference on the ground could be the difference between the top of the cliff and the bottom of the cliff. So with having that beacon, the aircraft can hone straight in on it and find exactly where you are. Once you activate that, that is going to keep pinging and pinging and pinging constantly until you're found. The battery's not going to let you down. It's not going to die in an hour. It will just keep going and you will get rescued. So having a PLB, dedicated, floats, always works, always in your kit, will save your life. It might not be your life as well. It might be someone else's. Like recently in Tassie, some hikers were attended to by other hikers, like unprepared people, didn't have the equipment. It was prepared people that actually helped, save the majority of the life of that party. Unfortunately, someone did pass away, but it was other hikers that did it. So you could be saving someone else's life, not necessarily yours. Everyone needs one. Like having them in a group, going, oh, there, we got one in the group, until you haven't. Like, what if that person forgets it? Redundancy, two's one, one's none. Something I've said before, make sure you've just got your own. It's just, I don't know, yeah. Don't buy a jet boil, buy this. Just look after safety first. So, I go out, I just did a trip the other day. Between 4 of us, there was a Zoleo, 2 inReaches and 2 PLBs. That's pretty good for a group of 4 that we never split up, of highly experienced people with a high appetite for risk, but a high amount of preparation. We had like 5 means of communications between 4 of us, which is, what you sort of want. So get the PLB. It's the cheapest, easiest way for you to get a rescue. Your phone, not a bad little toy, it's another tool in your toolbox, but should not be relied on. inReach is absolutely gold for that two-way communications to facilitate a higher quality rescue and also mitigate that sort of, not an emergency, but flat tire, I'm going to be home tomorrow, not tonight sort of thing. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments. I hope I haven't upset anyone by talking about, you could die hiking. I'm not trying to dramatise, I'm being serious. It's just people are dying right now, almost on a weekly basis because they're not prepared. So just get prepared, get in touch with us, and we'll help you out with making the right decisions on the right equipment and also planning for that event so you can have a safe experience. No worries, thanks for watching. Catch you later.